Yes, Sandhya.
Sir, shall we
Yes,
start,
Sandhya.
sir?
Yes. You can come in video and you can start.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, it is visible, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Mm.
Uh, Good morning, sir. On behalf of iGen, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to iGen Vidya Extra 9, edition 2, focusing on future mobility, smart and sustainable transport. Let us begin this meaningful program by invoking the blessings of the Almighty for a successful and impactful session, sir. Now I would like to call Rangarajan, sir, for the speaking, sir.
So very good morning to one and all present over here. Our chief guest Arka Ghosh sir and Charles and Tanya and Nidish. So here we all together to the second edition of Extra 9. So this Extra 9 today what we are going to deal with I will elaborate. So this extra 9 is nothing but we in iGen we have formulated 9 nanogons. So each color represents its own identity. It starts from violet, green. So these nanogons correlated with the SDGs, 17 SDGs. So today we are going to deal with future mobility. So future mobility is so important because nowadays the CO2 level is keeping on increasing day by day. So we are going to start with 9 facts on next generation transport, and we are going to have chief guest from Arka Ghosh, and we are going to recognize Dr. Batmanathan sir for pioneering sustainable transport through EV industry. And we are going to have an industry review on self-sustainable transport from Dr. Akila Madam. And we are going to have the African continent future sustainable transport outlook from Charles Sir. And NGT literature review from 24 to 25 transport research outcome. And youth leadership track down developing sustainable transport for the next generation Nitish. And research talk on EV charging time management from Mahita ma'am, and the pledge implementation by 3 college and youth lead EV promotion by STG's Young Changemakers Tanya B. Thomas. Sandhya?
Thank you, sir, for clearly outlining the purpose and significance of this event. To set the tone for today's discussion, we are honored to have Dr. L. Ramesh, President of iGen, who will deliver the opening remarks and share 9 key facts on next generation transport. Sir, we are eager to hear from you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sandhya. It was a very happy moment that Saladi pointed out the Institution of Green Engineers, which we are working towards the United Nations related green goals. So our very important action towards the green goals. Out of 17 goals, we had selected 9 goals. Through that 9 goals, we are seriously working towards various platforms. So in that various platform, the one platform is iGen WebGR. You all aware that there is 17 goals are there in United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. The same concept, the Institution of Green Engineers, which we are with the 9 goals, that is VIBBGGYOR. Through that 9 goals, we had connected these goals towards the SDG goals also. So this is one platform. This is one vertical which we all are working towards. The second vertical which we are having the concept of energy saving club. So we come out with the concept of creating the model energy saving club. That energy saving club we call it as NSAVE club. So this NSAVE club we had initiated in the year of 2019, and till now we have 40 plus energy saving clubs in India. Through these energy saving clubs, we are making the people across the community to aware of the importance of energy conservation and make them to implement the energy conservation concept through our energy saving N-Save 9 mantra. We are educating the students, and students will go across their community, and they are doing a lot of activities. Even through this initiative, in the month of December, the whole India is celebrating National Energy Conservation Day. In accordance to that, we had come out with Aizen Albatra Energy Yatra. That is 30-day Energy Yatra. It is going on now. From December 1 to December 30, 30 institutions doing activity related to energy conservation, particularly implementing the energy saving mantra nearby their community and conducting various events. So till today it is 20 days over, and lot of implementation is done. So that is what this vertical. So next vertical, we are having Aizen Research and Innovation Consortium. So this Research and Innovation Consortium, we have Young Green Innovators Army. We are motivating the school students to go for filing the patent, and motivating the college students to go for filing the patent. And third one is a research forum we formed. Till now, we have Nano Research Forum, like the 3 research forum. The condition for research forum is, it is like a collaborative research forum. Minimum 5 or 6 country professors, industry join together. They have to create the forum, and they will work for some betterment for the society related to green. So these 3 will be coming under the Aizen Research and Innovation Consortium. Next, very important, we had the Aizen STG projects. So we have presently 6 projects. Aizen Energy Double Line Challenge, Aizen Top for STG, Aizen Zero to Hero, Aizen Minus CO2, Aizen Green Day. So like this, lot of STG projects, till now around 5,000 plus students completed these projects in various aspects. And we have very 2 branded conference. We call it as Aizen Energathon and Aizen Environthon. So this Energathon is totally related to the Earth Day. In celebration of Earth Day, we are conducting, and Environthon, in celebration of Environmental Day, we are conducting the Environthon. So through these conferences, till now, we had come out with a lot of outcome, and we had communicated the outcome to the UN, local and national, all the policy makers. Also, we got applied for various world record. Until now, we received 5 world record: Limca Book of Record, London, Asia Book of Record, like that. All the maximum all the records Aizen is having. And till now, we had filed 4 patents in the name of Aizen through our Young Green Innovators Army, that also published and going for the next level of examination. So what it means is, we are looking in all the domain, and since it is the NGO, not for profit organization, our membership is, there is no fee for the membership. So any member can come out and they can join as the member, and they can do green activity. That is very important. By doing the green activity, they will be eligible to continue as the members. So otherwise their membership will be discontinued. So this is what the plan. And coming to today's session, so already Rangaraj pointed out, this is the 2nd edition. The 1st edition, we have Aizen Vibgr Violet on waste management in the month of November. And in the 2nd edition, today we all are going to talk about the next in transport, which is very, very important, because the transport play a very big role. Transport play a very big role in the carbon emission reductions. So through the carbon emission reduction, very big role. So because all our speakers are going to talk more on that, I will give the general summary about the 9 facts, the top 9 facts. The facts number 1, the transport is the fastest growing source of global emission, as already pointed out. Transport contributes 23 to 25% of global energy related CO2 emission, and in that the road transport accounts for 75% of transport emissions. So there is a lot of research is going on. The transport emission may rise by 60% by 2050 if it will be continued. So what we need to do, we got to go for decarbonization transport. That is the only option for the climate survival, and it will be completely related to this fact, will be SDG 13. The fact number 2, electrification is the backbone of next generation mobility. So in this, EV are 3 to 4x more energy efficient than ICE vehicle. And by 2030, 60% of our new urban vehicles are projected to be electric. This is what the projection, but how it is going on is, sometimes it is going fast, some country it is going very low. EV reduces the life cycle emission by 40 to 70%, and it is directly related to SDG 7 and 12. Fact number 3, the shared and public transport cuts emission more than private. So one full bus can replace 30 to 40 private car. So, but we all are talking, but how we are able to doing by the individual responsibility, that is very, very important, because like metro. So this all will be related to the policy matters. It is again the cleanest vehicle. It is STG 11. Fact number 4, digitalization is the new engine of transport efficiency. Like traffic system reduce congestion by 20 to 30%, smart signals, digital twins. So these are the example for that related to SDG 9. And fact number 5, next generation transport is multi-modal, not vehicle centric. So like we will go for sustainable cities and communities like that. Public transport use of micro mobility, short trip we can follow the cycling, walking like that. It will related to SDGs 11. Fact number 6 is energy storage and charging are becoming smarter than vehicle. That is very important. Energy storage, reducing the charging time, battery energy density improvement, and vehicle to grid enable EV. This all will help us to go for these facts. That is SDG 7. And fact number 7, sustainable fuels are critical for heavy and long distance transport. So this is again related to the green hydrogen, and because green hydrogen can cut more than 90% emission, biofuel reduce emissions like that. Again, it will be related to the SDG 12. Fact number 8, youth and behavioral change matter. So this youth, we are having very strong youth. If that youth behavioral change, if we can able to do, then it is a very, very big challenge, very big support with us. The last 9th facts is next generation transport is a social equity tool. Clean transport, reduce transport poverty, and this is all come together, come under the SDG 9 and 11. So what is the final conclusion about that is the next generation transport is not about faster vehicle. It is about cleaner energy, smarter system, inclusive access, and climate resilient living for 8.2 billion people. So with generally the overall summary I given in whatever I discussed here, all our speakers are going to talk about in detail about that. So that is what our viewers, those who are watching in YouTube, they can able to understand more. And attention all the viewers, by the you please take care all the talk which is given by the speakers. Based on it, the quiz will be posted in the end of the session, and based on that quiz, more than 50% mark who all are achieving will receive the that is a competency certificate. We are not calling us not participant certificate, is a competency certificate, because they have to watch the program and give the correct answer for that. Based on that, they will be able to get the knowledge competency certificate. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for those insightful facts that truly set the direction for the sessions ahead. Now we move to our first international guest talk. It is a privilege to welcome Dr. R.K. Ghosh, Senior Assistant Management Consultant at Lucid Consulting Australia, who will share his valuable insights on sustainable and future-ready transport system. Sir, welcome and over to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm just trying to share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see that. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All good. Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about the topic of next generation transport. I'm going to focus a bit on the digitalization, especially of the transport infrastructure, and I'm going to talk about some of the initiatives that I have been part of in the recent past, especially in the digital asset management, in the digital design management, digital engineering. So yeah, let's buckle up and let's hope you guys have some fun. So the agenda for the day for my talk is first I'm going to start with some innovation initiatives in my current organization as well as in my past organizations which I have been a part of. I'm going to talk about a bit about the digital twin case studies, a bit about the policy and strategy that we have helped out state and federal as well as local councils in Australia and New Zealand, a bit of the digital engineering and digital offerings to solve the industry problems, especially in the transport and infrastructure sector. A bit on digital sustainability, on decarbonization plans, on how you can get to know more about your assets, about the embodied carbon, how to do a better design management. And then we're going to talk about a few automation tools that we have developed in our organization, and also a few case studies, especially in context of airports, as well as a few ports. So yeah, going to talk about a few the innovation initiatives that we are currently dealing with. So a few major clusterings of topics. So definitely, to start with, before even we start about the digital side of things, it's important to get some foundation blocks in place. It's important to talk about policy, and what better policy for sustainability than to talk about policies like ISO 19650, which talk about the building information modeling, and also the revisions in the ISO 55000, which talks about asset management and principles, which is getting more and more traction towards sustainability and getting a lot of revisions, which have to be mandatory, followed by the state and federal, as well as local town councils, mandatory as of early 2025, that they have to become carbon neutral. They have to manage their carbon count, and the embodied carbon that is generated for their construction, as well as operations and maintenance. So a few tools that we kind of engage with towards meeting those carbon neutrality targets is a better management of design, better management of assets. That could be through 3D engineering, 4D modeling, better quantity and cost integration in the design stage, and also the big focus there is on 7D, which kind of brings the sustainability factor into consideration when designing like a major structure or a major transport, like a bridge or a major infrastructure project, which is mandatory now. So yeah, we're going to talk about a few digital twin implementations of a few of these initiatives. And we're going to also talk about transport modeling, engineering, project analysis, and digital product development. They have been grouped as part of either the owner side of things, when we get engaged by the clients to directly act on a project, or as part of a joint subsidiary where we have a lot of stakeholders, and we are partnering with the delivery consulting firms towards delivering a major project. So yeah, first and foremost, how do we engage with our stakeholders? When we get part of a project, we'll kind of, we'll have to be clear on what we are offering, on what the digital offering is, or what we're trying to seek. Obviously, the end product is the construction of a bridge, but how to do it more sustainably? What sort of standards are we going to implement, and how are we going to manage that? How are we going to integrate sensors or IoT, or what are the digital tools that we are going to employ for the project? And that has to be very clearly specified, both in the contractual phase as well as in the policies for the state and the federal government. So a lot of the times we see that during early engagement, the policy is not very clear, and it needs a lot of effort to just make it a very, very clear that this is how we're going to manage the design stage, and this is going to these are the specifications that we are seeking to follow. So we start with like a BIM management plan or a digital execution plan on how all the digital data and documentations are going to be managed, or just simple things like document naming standards, or the asset numbering conventions that has to be adopted at an early stage for a successful implementation in the because by the time the project has started, people are too busy doing their day-to-day jobs, and if there is confusion in getting the data and also retrieving the data that they need, that could be a document, that could be a numerical value, then there's a lot of confusion, and that leads to a lot of time delays and coordination issues in a major transport project. So yeah, we're going to talk about one of the projects which I've been part of. This was again the design of a major bridge in New Zealand. The first picture was that of like a Grafton of the Grafton Bridge, the early design modeling stage, and yeah, we had a bit of a requirement from the New Zealand federal government that it has to be not only carbon neutral, but like not only like zone 1, but also like the extent, like the sourcing of the aggregates and everything, the next level of of decarbonization that needed to be followed, that even the sourcing of aggregates or the materials, that had to be green as well. So we kind of had to come up with a plan that, okay, during the design stage, what sort of materials are we going to use, how much concrete, how much timber, how much structural steel we are going to use up, and where are they going to come from? Are they being sourced like locally, or does it come from a far away distance, which leads to a lot of carbon emissions? So yeah, we came up with a sort of a dashboard solution on by kind of putting each of the elements in the bridge and assigning it a particular embodied carbon. There were two things. There was the actual embodied carbon of the material, and also number two, if it was sourced from a certain site or from a certain, so it would assign the level 2 emission factor as well. So both had to be taken into consideration while the selection of the materials was done in the design stage. One of the last pictures you will see is of an airport. So that was again the Melbourne airport from Australia, where we kind of had to remove a lot of like utility relocation, and that had to be managed in a very not only efficient manner, but also minimum disturbance to the existing runway, and also in a sustainable manner by not, digging up too many excavation things, or just getting better coordination among all the teams. So we did a detailed design. We did the walkthroughs using a lot of software and tools, and also we had a lot of bespoke solutions, so that the entire process from start of design to the handover stage was done in a very smooth manner. So for this, we actually had to develop a bit of like a digital twin solution. So you'll see, you get a very kind of like an easy process for managing your design, where you kind of see a lot of analytics for each and every element that has been used at a very detailed stage, and you have better confidence in the drawing, and where the clashes are, for people who are using a lot of Navisworks. They might get familiar, but this was both the graphical side of things, as well as a bit of the asset analytics of it, like what's the vibration level for the bridge for the particular element, or what sort of a seismic load will be acting on it at an elemental level, because we've broke down all of the assets and connected it to the digital twin platform from a graphical as well as a parametric user interface, so that the design team and the construction team had a better experience of managing the project. Again, this was the Grafton Bridge project that I was kind of referring in my previous slide. Moving on, coming to policy. So we helped a lot of state governments, especially in Australia, especially like New South Wales and Victoria, to develop some foundation blocks for digital implementation of projects. One of the major ones was a New South Wales roadmap, which you can see on the top right, where we kind of talked about how to adopt all these tools, be it AI, be it digital engineering, be it advanced design, on the pathway on what needs to be done first, and then move on towards a better solution. And also what are the rules of governance for managing a digital twin, because digital twin is such a broad term in the current day and age. It's people have a lot of interpretations of it. So what are the frameworks underpinning it? What are the mandatory requirements that digital twin must possess for it to be certified a digital twin, and not just a bit of a software solution? So what's the level of maturity, or what's gonna be the end product of an ideal digital twin? That's what we kind of help the government write, adopt, publish, and implement at both the state as well as federal levels. So that was a good outcome for us from a policy perspective, that actually enable us to do the job, because then we didn't have to specify to each and every subcontractor that you have to follow, because they were now mandated. It was a legal binding thing from the state government that there's no escape. You have to follow certain guidelines for digital implementation. You can't rely on 2D drawings anymore. You have to follow the 3D model. You just can't work on how you used to work in the last 20-30 years. You have to adapt to the new digital standards. So yeah, this was again a few projects where we kind of used the digital engineering methodology and approach towards getting a better view of the kind of of the complexity of the transportation projects. Though this was again, the first video is for the Melbourne runway, the third runway expansion, where we kind of had to get a better sense of the flight paths and how the models would look when third runway would finally be functional. So again, to give a better confidence to not only our stakeholders, which was Melbourne Airport, but also a better idea to our subcontractors that this is the standard that we're looking for. This is how it would look once the project is completed. And again, there were a few more projects from bridges and all. I won't go through all the videos, otherwise it'll take too much time, but you kind of get a sense of the kind of projects we are talking about. So yeah. So a few more problems that we kind of solved with our digital offerings was use of AI to detect issues in stormwater systems. So previously what used to happen is people had to go down physically towards underneath the stormwater drains and take pictures to assess the condition of them, which was both hazardous, time consuming, as well as sometimes they used to miss things because the area wasn't illuminated properly. So now we kind of used a bit of a rover. Like we used a few cameras and sensors attached to a rover, which is almost like a Mars rover, and just put it underground the stormwater drains, and then you can control it with your remote control and take detailed videos. And then we used AI to kind of tag and collect information on all the cracks or corrosions or different defects underneath the stormwater drains, and also prepare a bit of reporting on what needs to be done on fixing those defects. The second one is again the Grafton Bridge thing, where we did the embodied carbon and the stage 2 emission calculations as well for it. And also we developed a few like design automation scripts, especially in using Dynamo, so that kind of if you want to repeat the similar kind of lighting across the runway, or if you want to use similar elements, so how to automate that sort of a design where what sort of a geometry, what sort of a rough figure you want, and develop some scripts in Dynamo towards automating that design to allow the designers more time, and also make the design process much faster. So these were a few industry offerings that we did. I'll talk a bit about digital asset management, because we focus a lot on the design side of transport infrastructure. But what if once it is constructed, it is handed over, do we actually monitor it adequately? Do we have enough data and information? Are we maintaining it just to a run to fail kind of thing, or actually based on a particular data, on collecting data and analyzing it, and then making a decision based on more rich data? So how do you know your assets better? So what we have seen in a lot of organizations, not only town council, or even at a large organizations at the state and federal level, is a lot of the asset management and operations and maintenance of large infrastructure is still being done using Excel sheets, which is not ideal, because Excel has its limitations, and it's the versioning of it or the user control of it is not managed adequately. So there needs to exist certain better solutions that we felt was the need of the hour, so that you could get better quality of data first and foremost, and then you can manage that data to give you more accurate insights, and then you can base your decisions like maintenance backlog, or forecasting your financial requirement for managing your assets much better. We also noticed a lot of the data was irrelevant or outdated, or incomplete, which kind of led to a lot of inconsistencies in how facilities are managed, especially like ports and airports, which have like huge, amount of data, and sometimes it's humanly not possible to have accurate. But how do we actually get a certain level of confidence in managing such large infrastructure once it is in the operations and maintenance stage? So what we kind of had was, get a sort of better way. So just make it a bit of like an automation process and a bit of like a workflow where, you reduce the unnecessary effort during, internal audits, because most of these organizations had to do an annual audit of all their assets. And kind of ensure that they are being maintained, that they haven't been damaged, that they are of a certain condition, and submit the reports to the state and federal agencies each year. So we kind of came up with a bit of a workflow and asset maintenance, dashboard kind of thing, if I may say so. So yeah, which kind of allowed organizations to get better understanding of their asset data and to better plan for capital work or renewal and asset replacement costs for all their assets. So this was the kind of dashboard, a solution that we prepared. So this is an example from Port of Melbourne project, which had around like 50,000 odd assets. When they came to us initially, it was all like a bunch of Excel sheets, and they're like, oh, we don't know how many assets are in this precinct or how many assets are going to fail in the next 5 years. We just have these records, and some of them we don't even know the condition. So yeah, it was a gradual process. It took us around 3 to 4 years, where we started. The first stage was to get the relevant condition of the assets, actually going on site and taking photos of each and every pyre of each and every a port asset, and then collating them and ensuring that certain metrics were followed and KPIs were set, and then the insights were reported. And then the port had, by the time we're still in the process of helping out the port, but by now in the 5th year they have better understanding of their assets. They know which asset is where, and also how much they need to budget for maintaining them in the next 5 to 10 year period, and they have more confidence that okay, this is the budget. And what we saw, that once you have that level of confidence, you don't end up overspending on your asset maintenance, and you save up a lot of costs, because you are doing preventative maintenance, because you have that data to actually do run those, develop and run some maintenance schedules, so that your assets don't end up in the breakdown or on the fail stage. And you save up a lot on breakdown costs if you are managing assets in this way. So yeah, just recapping the process. Step one is definitely reviewing what they have got, what sort of an asset registry they have, understand what sort of problems that they're looking to solve. Is it just getting a better sense of asset, or is it also the financial forecasting of the assets that you are after? Step two is definitely data cleaning, sorting, and combining all the asset information in the form of a single source of truth. And then step three was incorporating some insights, some analytics, some smart into getting that data in a structure that allows you to make those decisions. And the step four was the dashboard that I kind of showed you, where you kind of visualize things in a way where by looking at a single screen, exactly what's going on with your asset and where you need to look to solve the problem, rather than sorting and sifting through hundreds or thousands of data sets or documentations to kind of figure out, okay, what do I need to do? I'll come to the topic of digital sustainability, where I'm going to talk a bit more about, how we enabled, digitally enabled solutions towards solving some of those sustainability targets of, getting decarbonization plans, meeting your carbon neutral targets, and also, yeah. We have four major service offerings. One of it, which is number one, which is quite common, is the decarbonization planning. And again, the how do you plan for this? Because suppose you have a large portfolio of 150 odd buildings. Do you directly go and say, okay, each and every building will be carbon neutral from tomorrow, or do you phase it up in a way that, okay, I'll start with the first pilot of 10 buildings, and then which are my buildings which are using most of my energy, or which is having most heat and electricity cost. So how do I make those decisions to actually phase it up? So the entire planning process of decarbonization your assets, it could be buildings, it could be even large infrastructure that has a certain methodology. And also, how do you actually do the monitoring? How many sensors you need, or how many water meters, or how much you need to invest in the telemetry side of things to get more data and optimum data. Sometimes more data is not ideal. Sometimes you just need the right amount of data to make those decisions. And obviously, you need to get your high confidence of your condition assessment data, and also it needs to follow certain standards. In Australia, we have something like IPWEA, which is Institute of Public Works Engineers Australia, which sets the standards on how do you define an asset is a condition level 1 or a condition level 5, from a very good condition to a poor condition, and that exists for like each and every building element or each and every service type. Like, how do you say an AC, an air conditioner, or a boiler or a chiller is a condition rating 4 or a condition rating 2? There has to be certain parameters and criteria that go into that. And obviously, how do you link both the sustainability from that data that you get from all your decarbonization and your water meters or electricity meters, smart meters, towards your asset management systems? Because a lot of organizations used advanced CMMS tools like TechOne or MainPack, and how does the data feed into that system towards getting more value of your assets, rather than existing as different point cloud solutions, which is okay. Sustainability team uses system X, asset management teams uses system Y, and then the capital delivery uses system Z, and none of them talk to each other. And then the finance has system F, which exists as a standalone thing. Or when things like that exist, that is usually setting yourself up for a big failure. So ideally, you want to integrate and ensure that the systems talk to each other. And how do you actually manage that? Is it through having a common asset ID across design, asset management, finance, so everyone uses a singular reference ID, which we call asset ID? Or is it through using a simplified tool towards like you ask the finance team and they give you the same information as the asset management team? If you have that, then it's good. Otherwise, it's like you're not even sure how many assets you own, and how are you gonna do the capital budgeting, or how are you gonna manage your assets in a proper way. So obviously, you need to, once you have put those systems in place, the value you get out of it is you get a better streamline of target activities. You have a continuous overview and monitoring. You have real-time data, and you have a lot of competitive advantage, because you know how to leverage that information towards managing your contracts with your service better. There are five Daikin ACs in building 100, and which needs to be replaced after 5 years. So you can forecast, you can group, you can triage that maintenance activity and gain a lot of cost savings. And also you're complying to your compliances and your sustainability policies. This was the kind of dashboard that we prepared for. This was again not a transport project, but a major university. So a major university in New Zealand, where they asked us to do a bit of carbon assessment and kind of planning on where they need to look at to reduce their carbon content. So this was the kind of analysis we did, and we gave them a few scenarios on, if you use low cost glazing, you will save this much amount of carbon. If you upgrade your heating system from air source heat pumps to electrical solutions, or if you upgrade from your existing gas powered systems towards electrification of that, you will reduce this much carbon. So they could then take those decisions that, okay, we want to do this sort of we want to take this initiative, we will go for low cost glazing upgrade, which doesn't cost much but reduces my carbon by a huge amount. And if I do I can't do all the 10 initiatives because that will I won't have the budget for it. But if I know what's the best bang for my buck, then I know where should I focus. So that sort of analysis, and that was done for like a forecast period of 30 years and a whole of life cost, and then the university could take a better call, and it helped them a lot, and we got a great feedback from them that now we're sure on what we need to do. We were a bit unsure on where we need to look at because we had so many documentation, we had so much data lying all around, and there were conflicting insights from different teams that someone said that, oh, we need to look at initiative X, we need to look at initiative Y, but now we had the data to prove. So that helps a lot in making those decisions. And again, this was the kind of asset visualization that we kind of provided them that gave them a better source of truth on okay, this is the kind of initiative, and this is the amount of carbon savings that I can get out of each initiative. So yeah, again, further detailing of which building on which they could go and how much improvement that would cause based on the kind of initiative you would choose. Again, the process was very similar to the one before. Review, data clean, get the analytics and smart, and also visualize and do a bit of training and awareness so that people are sure on what to look and how to look at the dashboard. Now I'll come to the digital automation initiative where we kind of used a bit of Dynamo to get a few design automations running on a CAD script. So that actually led to reduction in the design time. Like a 20-minute task was coming down to just 2 minutes, and we kind of quantified the cost benefit that that was like $35 each of pure profit every time we run that automation, which was quite handy towards getting buy-in from executive management to use that tool. Next was the carbon assessment that I was talking. This was the Grafton Bridge project, where we did not only the level 1, but also the level 2. This is where you can see each and every bridge deck slab, which has all the information and all the, for like the concrete in the road structure, like it was 30 years or it was 50 years. You have a very, very high level of information attached to the model, which then you can use a lot of the tools towards giving a better calculation of your embodied carbon, and anything we kind of said which was above 550 mark, we kind of marked it in red. Then that had to be some sort of an alternative material had to be substituted because that all the red zones were bad. So this was the kind of like different, the resource types that we had for the build for the bridge, and you can see that a lot of it was concrete and followed by stainless steel. And these were the red zones. The red zones were the highest carbon, they had the highest embodied carbon content. And this, like the software was telling us, just go and just replace that with some other solution, because your entire bridge is highlighting up in red because it's got a high embodied carbon content. And then we had some stakeholder workshops, and then we decided, okay, we'll not use this structural steel, but something like alloy, which was a similar strength but a much less embodied carbon content, and that's how you ensure that your structure has a reduced carbon content. Yeah. Next topic after this, I'll go with and a case study from our airport. So this is where I'll talk a bit about digital engineering requirements. So I'll talk a bit first on what do I mean by engineering requirements. So requirements management, normal requirements management is a process of documenting, analyzing, tracing, prioritizing, agreeing and validating requirements, and then controlling change and communicating it to relevant stakeholders. It is a continuous process throughout a project. A requirement is a capability to which a project outcome, could be a product, could be a service, should conform to. So what do we mean by it? It's like you have all these massive contracts, you have a massive tender documents. how do you document each and every specification that is required, that you are required contractually to abide to? Do you just lose yourself in like 1,000 pages of PDF documentations, or is there a smarter way of documenting, of tracing, and prioritizing some of the specifications? And that's what we are gonna choose, because we saw that there was a bit of a start on tabulating a lot of the specifications. Like people used to go in the contracts and just copy and paste things to Excel and try to manage those requirements, which was like a stopgap solution, because it was a massive, it took a lot of time for, even if we employed a lot of entry level engineers to do the task, it took them like ages just to it's a very monotonous thing. That's how it used to be done 3 or 4 years back. But now what we did is we developed a few automation tools towards soliciting and engineering those, getting that requirement out from the dumb PDF towards a more smarter software solution that would enable them to actually manage those requirements. And how we did that is we created a contract extraction from the requirements. We created a network of those requirements, where how each and every requirement was connected to each and every other requirement, so that that if you don't pass this requirement, you are not complying to 5 other requirements which are linked to it. And then how do you visualize that in a way that it actually makes the job simpler? So an example, this was a metro tunnel project requirement, like a contract, and we used an application which is Lacy. So it's like an application which uses an AI-based natural language processing tool that will extract all your requirements, all the clauses, all the contractual specifications from a PDF document to a sort of like a table of requirements, to a tabular structure, which is kind of interconnected with each other, which is like what you get is you get linked data, which can be used by auditors or different stakeholders to manage that. Okay, my design of this structure is specifying to this requirement, which is in this clause of this contract. So how it is done is, so suppose you have 3 tests in as part of your contract, that okay, there are the test details, and this test has to be done at a frequency of this or after this design stages. So that will be extracted and then put in a form like, okay, this is a value, or this is the specification. And then you have a tabular structure that you have like 23.1, what's the test procedure and what's the specification text, and what sort of a grouping. Is it a specification? Is it just general information? Is it a contractual requirement? Is it a legal requirement? Is it an insurance thing? So all of that will be grouped once you have extracted that sort of information. And this is the overall framework, where you have, not only contracts, you have client requirements, you have industry standards, which will be then put from the PDF to the tabular structure, and then finally to an interconnected database. And this is the front end dashboard that kind of sits towards the project interface, where that so and this many requirements, this percentage of requirements is satisfied, or these many requirements are still pending, and who is it pending with? Is it pending with owner 1, because we had to assign something which is like a hydraulic design goes to the hydraulic team, something which is a geotechnical requirement goes to the geotech team, something which is like a project management thing has to be. So there will be different owners for all the requirements, and what percentage of requirements have been satisfied, and what percentage is pending, and how many are pending, and what sort of this was an example of an airports project. So you have some things like aircraft pavements, or of stormwater or demolition on site. So where are the requirements which haven't been, which are the areas where you need to work on to get your compliance up to date and satisfy all your contractual, client, and industry standard requirements. And that's all done in the Power BI side of things, where okay, what's the commentary on, and why the requirement is still pending on, and who it is pending with. You can drill down, you can roll it up, and you can basically go and see where that requirement is. Few case studies. I'll just conclude with 2 to 3 case studies that we have been helping most of our clients with. Number one was the SA government, the South Australian government asset management. This is a contract where all the schools, emergency buildings, the fire stations, the penitentiary facilities, the jails, and all the government facilities is being managed as part of a contract. And they had a lot of issues with their data side of things because they were not getting the right data. They were not able to make decisions on maintaining those facilities. So we helped out the SA government as part of data improvement plan to solve and get a better sense of the facility management data. The next one was the Port of Melbourne. I kind of referred to it in one of my earlier slides, where we kind of prepared dashboard solutions after collecting a lot of condition audit data and kind of used it to help the port prepare a maintenance plan in like a 5-year maintenance plan towards managing its assets. The next was the Southeast Queensland, where we got a huge, I think we got 2,000 to 2,500 data sets, individual data sets, because it was across the entire state of Queensland, everything from schools, hospitals, colleges, all the infrastructure facilities. And how do we first of all combine, integrate, and visualize that? And not only that, but how do you plan for school upgrade, or which are the schools which are in a bad condition and need to be looked at? Is it just the building fabric, or is it the furniture or the notice board of a school which needs to be changed or replaced? And how do you allocate budget, and where do you prioritize things? So that was a bit of a project we called it the infrastructure baseline project. And then there was a final project with local town council in New South Wales, where we did a bit of cleanup of the asset register. We did a bit of policy on the asset management plan of it, and we ensured that it adheres to the current requirements of compliance, not only from a state level but also from global standards like ISO 55000. So yeah, these were some of the case studies in the that I've been part of. And there were a few more, but I'll skip. Go to questions straight away. So thank you so much.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. It was a very fantastic, sir. So with complete data, that is what actually our real Gen Z students which need to be. So this particular program is to motivate the young generation to aware of how the things are happening, and they have to move towards the green action, sir. Very nice, sir. Sir, on this occasion, I would like to invite you to join our IGEN in this forum itself, because we are having 9 forum. This forum is particularly related to next generation transport. I will invite you to be part of this forum, sir, so that
Sure.
we'll now started connecting the people, those who are working in next generation transport across the globe together in a forum, so that it will be helpful for the both to take it forward to the next level, sir.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy. And really, this topic is really passionate to me, so I'd love to be part of it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Over to Rangarajan, sir.
Sir,
Thank you.
It was a great presentation, sir. So it was very insightful, and a lot of real-time data we could able to see the work tremendously you have done in Netherlands and Australia, and the way you have been working towards the sustainable development goals and decarbonizing. Sir, it was wonderful. So hope we stay connected, and it will be helpful for many students in India and in other countries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Over to you, Sandhya.
Sir,
thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, one question from YouTube. Just a minute, I will check. How steel is replaced in bridge constructions like that?
Yeah, so initially it was just like structural steel, and then we had to use an alloy. So that was not like 100% structural. It was like combination of steel, aluminum, and a bit of a composite material that we replaced it with. So there's a big database that people kind of go to, like same strength, same physical properties, but reduced carbon content. So I think there's a database, publicly available database. We kind of referred to that. What could be an alternative material to that? Yeah, it's like you can refer to that, or if you have a bunch of materials that is locally available, if you have the information regarding its physical qualities, you can use that. But yeah, we used a bit of a composite material, which wasn't not exactly 100% structural steel, but it had the same physical, strength, tensile strength or durability performance characteristics of that normal structural steel embodies. So we use that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sanjay, over to you.
MetaStage Alliance to present an industry review on self-sustainable transport. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandhya. Good morning to everyone present. Today, I would like to speak about sustainable transport, how it is being implemented successfully in different parts of the world, and what the future of self-sustainable mobility looks like. Sustainable transport, as we have reviewed so far, refers to the transformation in the transportation systems that are uh, environmentally responsible, economically efficient, and socially inclusive. Globally, transport is one of the largest contributors to carbon emissions, air pollution, and energy consumption. And as cities grow and mobility demand increases, the traditional model of fossil fuel based privately owned vehicles is proving to be unsustainable. There are many countries which are suffering for the losses. As a personal example, I visited the Beijing, the present capital of China, in the year 2009. When I landed in the city, I thought that it was some fog and the mist was across the city. But later I was informed it was the air pollution. That was the kind of environment I was able to see in China in 2009. But now, after adopting the best practices across the world, now their air pollution is near zero. The city is very clean, and the government has taken sustainable activities to improve the air content in the capital. Likewise, we have across the world, several countries have moved beyond a discussion and are actively implementing sustainable transport solutions. And one of the first country is Norway, which has demonstrated how strong and consistent policy support can accelerate electric mobility by aligning incentives, infrastructure, and long-term vision, making electric vehicles the preferred choice. The next country I would say is Netherlands, which has shown that redesigning cities around walking and cycling can significantly reduce emissions, improve public health, lower congestion, proving that urban design plays a critical role in shaping transport behavior. If you see the city in the videos, you can see they have maintained the traditional buildings. They have not touched the traditional buildings. Just the lifestyle of the civilians have changed. More of walking and more of cycles, less carbon emissions across the city. And this has played a critical role in shaping the transport behavior. Next country, which I would say is Singapore, which has adopted a demand management approach through congestion pricing, controlled vehicle ownership, and high quality public transport, highlighting that managing mobility demand is as important as adopting clean technology. While these countries differ in scale and context, common best practices clearly emerge. Public transport is treated as the backbone of mobility. Non-motorized transport is planned by default, and sustainability is supported through long-term policy consistency and behavioral change. In this transition, in my opinion, educational institutions and industries have a critical responsibility to promote common and shared transport systems rather than individual car usage or maybe two-wheeler or four-wheeler usage. Large campuses, universities, industrial parks, and corporate hubs, government institutions can significantly reduce transport emissions by encouraging shuttle services, public transport usage, organized carpooling, and walkable or cycle-friendly infrastructure. By coordinating class schedules, work timings, and transport routes, institutions can reduce peak hour congestion, which we are seeing day to day in India, especially in Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and many of the upcoming cities. And overall vehicle dependency can be reduced. So, partnerships with the public transport authorities and shared mobility providers can further improve accessibility and reliability. When industries lead by example, they not only lower the operational costs and environmental impact, but also shape long-term behavior among students and employees, making shared and sustainable mobility a social norm rather than an exception. Even though we talk about electric vehicles, hydrogen powered vehicles, and so many energy related things in transport system, the personal behavior of the civilian is much more important than the technology we are introducing. Looking ahead, the future of self-sustainable transport will be integrated, intelligent, and energy efficient. Mobility systems will increasingly connect clean energy, SDG, forums, digital platforms, and urban planning. No doubt about that. But electric and alternative fuel vehicles will become mainstream. I hope for that. Shared mobility will reduce the need for individual ownership, and data driven systems will optimize traffic flow and energy usage. Most importantly, sustainability will move from being a regulatory requirement to a core design principle of transport systems. The future of transport, in my point of view, is not about moving faster, but about moving smarter, cleaner, and more responsibility, creating mobility systems that support economic growth while protecting the environment. Thank you, Aijan, for giving me the opportunity to talk about the industry review on self-sustainable transport. Over to Rangarajan.
So thank you, ma'am. So it was very insightful. We could able to have a great knowledge on different countries, how they are adapting to the future mobility and how they are decarbonizing and how they are reducing the vehicle congestions and other things by so that we can reduce energy consumption. So it was great, and we hope in many countries it is implemented soon with the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning and graph theory, and lot of things are happening nowadays. Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful presentation, and thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Over.
ma'am. Dr. M. Akila, CEO, Metastage Alliance, Secretary of IGEN, for connecting sustainability concepts with real-world industry practices. It is our honor to welcome Professor Charles Usholo Eborio, Vice Chancellor of IUI and founder of DPRMI Nigeria, who will share an international outlook on future sustainable transport. Sir, we are honored to have you with us, sir.
Thank you very much, my able moderator. May God come to sustain you and sustain everybody listening. I thank God for our brother, Dr. Rimesh. I thank God for everybody listening, all the speakers. I thank God for you, the first and the second speaker. May God come to bless you. I enjoyed all what you said. The audience, the students, and my colleagues, I need to appreciate God for you all. And today is a unique day, a day that we are to showcase international outlook for future sustainable transport. We are trying to look at the area to sustain transport and bring about transformation in the future in both Africa and international. It is paramount to know that it should be collectively done so as to boost the economy. The following insight can be looked into from an article which can be said in 12 minutes. We look at the net zero mobility. This is very, very necessary, which is all about sustainable economic growth. By the time we have such, we see that the economy will be boosting, will grow to the maximum level. And we also look at the successful transition to sustainable transport, which is also necessary, which requires clean energy and more equitable and efficient mobility. We need to make sure the environments are clean and there is equitable and efficient mobility. And looking at creating a fair and more efficient mobility is also necessary, so as to create healthy, sustainable, and livable cities. We want our cities to look fine. We also look at the area of paratransit sector, essentially for the sustainable design of urban and rural mobility services. We look at the area of digital data, which is so necessary for the future, so as to ensure that the transition to sustainable transport keeps a pace with dynamic development. We also look at the area of social justice. We need it all over, which is a basic precondition for sustainable transport. We look at the area of electric transport. This is very necessary and most necessary and efficient to shed its dependence on fossil fuels, so as to actualize the net zero mobility. We also look at the area to create added value in domestic economic countries and also motor vehicle industry. Both must work together. Connectivity is best, partnership all the while, very good. That is what we have been saying concerning SDG, and we're going to meet it. There must also be enough renewable energy to power the global transition to sustainable transport. We have been saying the electrification of rails and road. This is very paramount, very necessary, so as to make it possible to decope the value of trade from the level of freight transport emission. The foundation for development and transport infrastructure is climate protection and resilience. When all these are there, at least there will be protection of the climate and also the resilience. We also look at the joint responsibility of national government, and international investors. This is very necessary, so important, so as to connect financing decision. The future of transport will be shaped by policy action. Good policy, all the necessary things must be put in place. Energy and transport are two sides of the same coin. They are two sides. They must be work together so as to remove emission from the city and from the urban area. We also need sound policy framework which make transformative action possible, because we want everything to be transformed. We want the whole world, everything to be transformed, probably before 2030. fair and efficient mobility, plus clean energy to bring about sustainable transport. These are very paramount. As we all know, we want the best in the future, and also we want the life to look fine. More than 8.2 billion people to live fine, to look fine. So, as a result, from what I've just said, we are called to know that there is need for transformation powered by technology. In the area of IT, we need to promote it very well. Electric vehicle is so necessary so as to actualize this, and we have big data. Getting information is so very paramount. We need a real-time optionalization so have to optimize the job to make people to be present, and also to bring about a auto driving system so as to make people look, everything will be done concurrently and will be done in an effective way and efficient way so as to bring about faster delivery of services. Predictive maintenance for fleets is very, very important. We need to make sure that the necessary things are put in place so as to help out in the climate goals and also e-commerce demands, and to bring more or to bring about sustainable, efficient, and connected and accessible infrastructures so as to shift from the fossil fuel to green energy. This is so important. So as to also improve the safety of all users. It is worth knowing that transportation change signifies advancement in the means and method of moving people and goods during the 19th century, so that 8.2 million people will live fine and they will all be happy and pray for the government. As we all know that we have been stressing it in SDG 7 that said about affordable and clean energy goal, aiming to ensure that universal access for affordable, reliable, and sustainable and modern energy by 2030. It is very paramount. The SDG 7 also focus on increasing renewables, improving energy efficiency, and investing in clean tech. It's also critical to know that for poverty reduction, health, education, and combating climate change, so important. That is why SDG is emphasizing on it, 7 is emphasizing on it. We also look at the area of SDG 9, which focus on building resilient infrastructure and promoting inclusive, sustainable industrialization. Also, bringing about innovation, which I just said earlier, fostering innovation, acting as a foundation for economic growth, job creation, and improving living standards. In SDGs 9, it also calls for modernizing industry, making industry to look current so as to be able to face the future. This is so important. Ensuring the equitable access to technology and finances. It is very important. Everybody should get access to it, and nobody will be deprived, so as to have a future and healthy environment. Also, we look at the area of critical for tackling challenges. It's so crucial. The challenges and building a prosperous society. These are very important in SDG 9. We also look at the 5 pillars of it too, which talk about resilient infrastructure in the area of transport, communication, and water, and also the access to everyone. Everyone needs access to it. Reliable and sustainable resilience and developing high quality. Very important. The SDG 9 is saying it among the pillar of resilience infrastructure. We also look at the area of innovation. When we talk about innovation and technology, sustainable industrialization, which aim at promoting inclusive, sustainable maintaining, adopting clear technologies, and also increasing its GDP, which is so important, and also the share of employment, which is so important. We also look at the area of innovation and technology in the area of fostering scientific research, technological advancement and innovation, such as universal and equitable access to the internet and information is so important. Everybody should get access to the internet and also get access to information in a real-time mode so as to optimize the information. We also look at the area of importance of this SDG 9. We talk about achieving goals related to climate action, health, education, also providing tools to solve economic and environmental problems. The area of creating jobs and lifting people out of poverty. We want people to be lifted out of poverty. We don't want poverty. We want people to be prosperous, people to be happy. And as a result, this is so important. SDG 9 is stressing it. Just like this first speaker, who stressed on many dimensions, was able to showcase some of the things that will get to bring out poverty. It also aims at drives employment, income generation, and trade. And it is always good to look at the area of upholding the SDG 9, which talks about, just like I said, creating new opportunity, building stable society, and ensuring that more prosperous and sustainable future to everyone who want it for the future. And as a result, we're going to work together. Together, we shall actualize it. It's not for one person, it's for everybody. We need to work together corporately in a very unique way, and God will come to help us. We also look at the area of SDG 12 that aim at ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns, with emphasis given to resources is being used efficiently, and also wastage is reduced, such as food waste, most necessary food waste. We don't want it. We want people to have enough. If you don't have enough, you have enough, but instead of wasting, give it to your friend, to your partner, which is very good. And also the area of chemicals, better manage it, avoid wastage. That's what SDG have been saying, and we need to follow suit so as to have a prosperous economy and a prosperous 2030, which we are looking at. Companies are sustainable with the age of SDG 12, and also the green public procurement are promoted. We promote it so as to bring about more and better use of resources. We look at the area of bringing about economic growth, which I said earlier, and the area of planet. Our planet should be protected for future generation. It's very important. The coping the economic growth for environmental degradation is so important. Creating greener jobs, very important. Reducing costs, very important. Improving the quality of life as a result of shifting towards systems that are regenerative and less polluting. All these are so important, and it must be promoted. The area of SDG 13 also that talks about which is climate action. It requires us to take urgent action against climate change, and it is a severe impact that we create, which involve looking at the area of building resilience, integrating climate measures into national policy, looking at improving education and awareness. We'll also look at mobilizing funds for climate action for vulnerable nations with the aim to limit global warming. Also, we look at, we have been called in SDG 13 also to look at the area of reducing greenhouse gas emission, also by transitioning to low carbon and also renewable energy resources, enhancing climate resilience and promoting sustainable practices so as to combat climate change. All these are so important that we should all work with it. By the time we do that, we discover that we have a very healthy economy. We have a future economy which will be, which everybody will appreciate and work towards to make sure that we are all happy. Happiness is so key, of which it needs everybody's cooperation. If we fail to cooperate, then we have ourselves to blame. That is why the SDG is there, to make sure we are able to actualize all these things. And may God come to help us as we are doing it with the open hearts. I feel that God will help us to be able to do it. Thank you very much for this opportunity. May God come to strengthen everybody listening right now, and bless our brother who invited me, and may God come to sustain every one of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles, sir. So you elaborated the entire thing about the future mobility, sustainability, SDG, conservation, optimization. Thank you for the great talk, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your visionary and globally relevant insights.
Thank you.
Now we move to a special moment of recognition. We are proud to honor Dr. Padmanathan K, Director Technical, EV Nexus Private Limited, for his valuable contributions to the field of electric mobility. I kindly request the dignitaries to proceed with the recognition ceremony.
Sir, welcome, sir. Padmanathan, sir.
Good morning to all. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Thank
sir.
you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Ramesh, sir.
So welcome, sir.
Welcome,
Welcome,
sir.
Dr. Padmanabhan, sir. So very happy to be here because this is our forum. So may I invite you to give your presentation, then we'll end with the recognition ceremony.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the invite and given the opportunity to demonstrate our Indian EV market and SWOT kind of analysis. So in our India has a huge market for EV because we are the highest population all over the world, across the world. Second, we are beating even China. So that our need is more for our mobility. So when considering that all other petrol vehicle and diesel, all other aspects, so EV going to play a major role. It will impact that major environment as well. So that the global market that we are across around 40 to 55, as well as that overall that statistics here presented in this presentation itself. So we can able to understand and our lifestyle, our growth, our overall development of our India. So in this context, that the mobility is going to play a major role. In this context, the EV is contributing that environmental aspects, the major significant contribution towards that sustainable way of mobility. So here some statistics shown the overall 24 to 25, the transition, how the electric mobility the overall registration happening in India, almost 2.2 million registration happen that electric vehicle combined that all sector L1, L2, L3, L5 up to N3, that 2.2 million is the significant number for our India. When considering last year, two-wheelers 1.2 million units registered so far, already the higher than that 1.15 million units in 24. So similarly, that the car also significantly increased, almost 57% from that last year. So you can imagine the growth of EV as well as the benefit of EV. The people started and they have realizing that the real benefit of EV now. So many opportunities still for our India for EV segment in terms of all aspects, business and the economic aspects, many terms. Even then, we are facing a lot of challenges across India. Even though the government contributing the many subsidy and many funding towards this, pumping into a lot of startups is coming up, and they are also facing the challenges because of that ecosystem. So what we are doing, we are building that two-wheeler and three-wheeler in the name of two companies, Tiger Automobile and EV Nexus, which is we are the real scenario we can able to realize what exactly in India when compared to other country, how the opportunity is, the gap between the real industry requirement and how that system operates, everything still that the challenges is happening. Even then we are moving forward because that the opportunity is huge for the near future such a way. So that battery swapping is the great opportunity for us because everyone need to have that within the minute they needed to fueling their vehicle the same way of petrol and diesel. They are expecting such a way. So the changing the battery kind of swapping, that charging station developed by many organizations, many firms like Indofast, Sun Mobility, with the support of IOCL, all that the parallelly they are working many other startups towards this, as well as that charging station is the major challenges, because they wanted to get that like a petrol bunk, they need to get the vehicle charged, including two-wheeler to four-wheeler. Some of the places, four-wheeler, that buses, all that it is needed, the charging infrastructure. For that, it is needed for power infrastructure as well. So it is developing like a rapid way in India. So it is a huge market. Similarly, that many of the OEM who are developing powertrain components like motor, controller, complete sets of that system. It associates more than 150 components behind. So all that they are now involving to develop our by own. Still, all over the world they are depending on the Chinese, the OEM. We are getting many of the raw material from China, but our need now in India also has significantly increased. So our government putting enormous effort towards making everything in India. So such a way that vision can fulfilled, it will be achieved very shortly. Such a way the opportunity is huge. Similarly, that a lot of software and data analysis going to happening for improving the system, overall system. That a lot of applications behind, like people know the Swiggy, Zomato the operates the same way, that vehicle to grid, grid to vehicle, all that are going to happen very shortly in that making the sustainable mobility system. Assuming that Ola, Uber, the significance of the contribution, it is really enormous. The behind the system, how the system is operates. Assuming that one drop one place to one another place, that dropping one guy, another the aggregate happen. Then that driver enjoying the benefit, the customer enjoying the benefit, because that from one place to another place dropping alone, the cost cannot be saved. Now the same place after dropping, that person getting the real benefit, he is getting into the lesser cost, the driver also getting another customers. The same way it will operate, the similar way that a lot of technology going to come up in that EV sector, vehicle to grid, grid to vehicle, like that mic associating with the microgrid, all that going to happen very shortly. So these are all the significant development for sustainable development aspects. It impacts all that 17 goals as well. So similarly, that a lot of opportunity for two-wheeler as well as three-wheeler. It is going to evolve for that, a lot of empowerment for making the people and development of growth of the people, and making the equality. Certainly it will contributes towards that aspects. So this is the segment wise types of vehicle, all that low speed, high speed, L1, L2, L3, L5, that is segment wise. Lot of manufacturing aspects here shown in this classification of presentation. So almost now that heavy trucks also, a few companies they are developing already. Buses they are operating successful way in the many of the state governments now in the fleet kind of operations. So that earlier from Chennai to Bangalore, that ticket was maybe 800. Now they significantly reduced to 400 to 500 with the luxury kind of travel. So the same way everywhere it is happening now. So that the growing demand is really raising. It will improve that middle class income, as well as that it is significantly contributing their empowerment. That India has lot of opportunity towards this. They have some set of target 2030 that autonomous vehicle going to perform in India. That our government putting enormous effort towards this. Similarly, that our rising investment all over the world, they are coming up with the support of our PM EV drive. That many companies like including Tesla and Winfast, they are concentrating more on to India to making that EV vehicle market some galaxy kind of opportunity we have. So they are working towards on that. So this is the advantages in India. Overall, 50% of three-wheelers, about to 5% of two-wheeler, 2% of car bought in 2024 in the EV segment. So you can assume that opportunity earlier that like a pull cart and all that, it is replaced by EV in the North India. Everyone they can able to see when going north, they are using almost all their passenger vehicle instead of car or normal rickshaw kind of. They are using now EV. So that the contribution is phenomenal. Their day-to-day operations, their mobility is the major impact for the people survival. So that opportunity is huge, and the policy support also good in terms of our both the central and the state governments, and the investment also they are investing many FDI to India. So overall growth and our GDP, how that impact here mentioned. Based on that, our EV segment, how the growth is reflects our people. Really, they are getting real benefit. It shows in this presentation itself. So 2030, India setting the target, 30% of the private cars, 70% of the commercial cars, 70% of the buses, and 100% of the two-wheeler. So it is the ambition to fulfilling our government setting the target to achieve 2030. So that 8x expected the growth. You can imagine that is happening so far, because the statistics says that opportunity is really huge. It is going to evolve in a tremendous way. So India has established an objective to evaluate the proportion of electric vehicle sales to 30% in a private car, 70% commercial, 40% buses, 80% two-wheeler and three-wheeler by 2030. So this is the ambition set by the government. So that is from since 2010 to now, and then up to 2050. How that will be? It is support of this research done by United Nations Department of Economics and Social Affairs. They have done wonderful research that that Indian future mobility how would be. So that almost matching the same way. So 2050, 2030, certainly our India has that significant impact towards the EV. So this is the trends, various trends and the situation. What is the implication? It reflects in this presentation itself. Evaluation of customer expectation and behaviors, and the emerging new players and the disruption on value chain, and gradual market opening to the competition. So based on that trends and according to the situation, how that evolves, like Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, that the transition, how that implies, that implication, what is the real benefit, really the people enjoying that lifestyle. So that aspects the same way that EV also, instead of fueling 100 rupees per day per vehicle, they are spending 2 to 3 rupees. So that that the remaining they can offer for their lifestyle. The same way that dropping earlier, suppose 50 rupees per kilometer, some distance. Now they are charging 20 rupees instead of using that aggregators like Ola, Uber, Rapido, all that. So that is significantly changing the motto of technology for people all around. So overall growth of the market, you can able to realize the various countries, what is the contribution in India, the what is the customer concerning regarding the electric vehicle. So each country has different perception, and they are resisting and some concern about the driving range and cost and price, lack of electric vehicle charging infrastructure, time required to charge, safety concern, and all battery electric vehicle powertrain are not offered in the type of vehicle, the brand. So in India, only the lack of infrastructure is the major impact. Otherwise, remaining everything we achieved. So in India is very significant market for EV. So why invest in India electric mobility? Though we are that larger automobile industry, third largest market all over the world, and ambition target at 2030, we need to adopt at least 30% of the electric adaptability. In the two-wheeler, 100% our ambition target. So certainly we can achieve. Then lot of incentive they are giving for developing charging infrastructure, PM EV drive, and many of the schemes are there. Then attractive global investment there towards this country. Everyone coming to invest for this EV sector, and overall economy in the EV segment aspects in this presentation here dealt in a detailed way. So economy, per capita income, population, so all about here presented. So similarly, that every year you can able to understand that two-wheeler and three-wheeler since 1 year, last November 25 to up to October 25, that statistics, real data here depicted that the EV two-wheeler almost they have last 2 months, October, November itself, you can able to realize that the last October 1 lakh something the two-wheeler vehicle 1,16,000 sold. In this October, it is more than that, 1,44,000 something. Similarly, that a rickshaw, all that buses, it is purely EV based vehicle. It is registered in the wagon. So it is an Indian statistics data. You can able to understand the graph, the growth of EV in India. Similarly, the November, December 24 to 25, all segment of EV vehicle which is registered in our India Indian government. So almost 2.2 million vehicle registration was happened in India. So two-wheeler, three-wheeler, rickshaw, L5, L3, four-wheeler buses, good carriers, all that. Every month wise, last November 24 to since November 25. So overall, every month, what is happening, the statistics, overall, the growth, here you can able to understand. Similarly, the two-wheeler alone, petrol vehicle, pure electric vehicle, as well as petrol and ethanol, EV penetration, you can able to realize the penetration almost 4 to 6 percentage every year. The significantly it is increasing when compared to other market, other segment of vehicle. So even imagining 4.6% of EV makes the requirement, you can imagine the opportunity in India. Then similarly, this three-wheeler segment, that two-wheeler, three-wheeler, petrol, CNG, diesel, LPG, all that here pictorially represented in the Indian RTO registration. So you can able to understand almost 38% of the market mix for L5 passenger and 58% of three-wheeler segment for loading loader kind of. So this is the abundant opportunity for EV segment. The people really started realizing the benefit of real EV benefit. They have broken that all myth, and they are started enjoying the real benefit. So this is the trend since 2018 to up to 2031, the market, how that market is evolving every year. 2% to 36%, they are predicting that two-wheeler segment, it will reach up to that 2030, they are expecting 36% of the market mix. So you can, now we are at the position of now 25, 26. So this 26, 10% of the market mix. Already we've surpassed 6%. So certainly we will attain 26, 10% of the market mix of overall EV segment. So up to 2030, certainly we will surpass our ambition is 100% of EV vehicle. Even then, we have the opportunity to reach at least 60 to 70%. It is predicted by some KPMG kind of company. They have predicted 36%. So overall, millions and the bus, truck, everything here mentioned, the market, how that will be at the 2030. Similarly, this every year the market mix happening, how that evolving, everything it is mentioned. So here that market witnessing the other opportunity in terms of various segment vehicle, the evolve happening, the B2C customers and B2B customers, how that happening, the market overall, the based on the speed of the vehicle, range of the vehicle, and all other aspects, it is combined. Similarly, the three-wheeler. So the 2030, 67% they are expecting the market penetration. Similarly, that LCV, like L5 category, 11% at that time. Overall, and four-wheeler LCV, they are expecting 11%. Certainly, it will beyond that. Based on that, other EV companies, they are offering the better future and autonomous car, all that it will surpass based on this prediction. So this is the overall India three-wheeler market, how the market is penetrating across India, different states, different color code. It shows strong market that the green color represents, and emerging market that the states mid market, and the low penetration that is south for EV. This is for three-wheeler EV. So sector-wise, the two-wheeler and the three-wheeler, that is various states and various based on the statistics, we can able to understand. In south, that the two-wheeler market is huge. In the north and the mid of the state, the three-wheeler market, especially the passenger rickshaw, is penetrating much more. So then market, similarly the three-wheeler market, how that B2C, B2B market overall, the range, everything here mentioned. Then time frame to achieve our target, all this for a short term and mid term and long term aspects, various segment, the cost and other aspects here explains in a different way. So overall, the component value proportions, vehicle segment wise. So here that 40 to 45% that our we are depending other countries. We need to evolve. That various color codes here represents that our Indian OEMs, they are working, and remaining we are depending on China or a few other Korea, Taiwan, and German, like that. Few of the technology wise, that sector wise, scooter and auto, bus, car, all that. It is here represented various component level, battery, powertrain, other connectivity, chassis, other body parts. How that in India scenario. So this is the overall sector wise that our motor specification used in that buses, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, truck, all that here explains. So quality and standards, we need to state that AIS 156 already success. Those who are following the norms, certainly it is fulfilling that there is no any fire kind of happening nowadays. So the people, they are expecting the long-term warranty and long-range battery and the long-range range life cycle, all that they are expecting. That in-house inbuilt overcharge prevention system and water production system, over discharge production, all that they are expecting such a standards. If we are really giving, we are following the standards, certainly the people will rely on this. They are enjoying the real benefit of. Some of them, they are using that recycled kind of, or they are not avoiding the norms of standards. Certainly they will stand for substandard kind of. Certainly they will face the consequence of the quality. So then the motor technology upgrade and power electronics by their capability, what is happening now, and how the future would be. All that here representing in terms of the scope of motor technology in India, in the scope of power electronics in India. And the opportunity exists across components, especially to strengthen the local value chain. So you can able to understand the opportunity in India for sector-wise, motor, stator, controller, converter, onboard charger, many of the technology, software, hardware, everything. We have the opportunity for in Indian entrepreneurs, but we need to face the other aspects that infrastructure challenges, investment, everything. So we need to careful about when enter into the business also. It is not like glory things we need to face, and we need to succeed. Then the capability can help and the various opportunity in terms of die casting, lamination, stacking, winding, assembly and magnet and rotor balancing, testing, integration. These are all the sector wise in detailed way how that opportunity for entrepreneurs, how that opportunity for employment, the sector, how that growth will be. You can able to realize by means of various sector and research as well, thermal stability management, vehicle to grid to vehicle, all that. It is a matter of evolving process. So really they have that opportunity for research as well. So this is that inherent factors to drive demand, short term and mid term, long term. So challenges and price here represents in this pictorial. You can able to understand the government fixing the policies, creating the market and scale, and improving the affordability, enabling the infrastructure. That mid-term emission reduction, life cycle cost, driving comfort, variety, all that. Then challenges, consumer resistance, range anxiety, charging infrastructure, limited models, high upfront cost. So these are all the factors for challenges. The long-term aspects, the power infrastructure is the main major challenges we need to fulfill in terms of microgrid and renewables, solar, wind, all that. It is the significant factor for our power infrastructure. Certainly that will disrupt happening over the period. We need to plan accordingly. Then this is other set of short-term, long-term, mid-term kind of. These are all the parameters. So this is the upfront cost. Earlier how it was two-wheeler and three-wheeler, four-wheeler and commercial, and this is the TCO here, that year-wise, how that going to match up. Then EV penetration, segment-wise analysis, EV penetration, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, the market how would be 2025, 2030, the market growth you can able to realize that 15 to 25 now, in 2030 expected to fulfill that 50 to 70 B2B customers, and B2C 60 to 80, now 40 to 60. The same way that motorcycle market now 1 or 2%, it can expected to fulfill 10 to 20%. The overall market expected to reach 20 to 30%. The EV mix will be in the four-wheeler segment. Now that 5 to 10%, it is expected to fulfill that 2030. It is about 20 to 30%. So buses almost it will be 25 to 40%. So this is the cost, ownership cost, all that. So what is it is about us, what we have, everything. So the opportunity and that vehicle interaction overall, the EV segment, how would be the body structure, frame, bumper, suspension, batteries, chargers, controllers, power electronics, all that, transmission, vehicle, wheels, that all the technology wise, how that development happening, the people can able to see now that Mahindra and all that cars, it is like kind of luxury cars they are already developing, they are selling in the market. You can able to feel the real market capture and the growth of market you can able to see now itself. So this is the overall understanding of EV market growth in India. So this is the various battery type of battery combinations that lithium ion itself, that several classifications are there, like various combination of material inside the cells. So based on that, the life cycle and the quality that will differ, and the cost also. You can, the people thinking about only 2 to 3 technology, but overall market 480 technology available, more than 486 technology at the research level. They are developing the technology in various aspects of research. That design battery, while considering, we need to focus all that factor. Then cell, module, thermal management, battery management, and housing connectors, everything we need to focus the development of research. By means of research, we are improving the life cycle and the safety, compliance, and the standards. We need to fulfill that overall the quality of the system. So now that getting fire and all, it is prevented with that kind of coating material. Now there is no any fire happening. Some external factors, external factors, it is still impact overall our system, including buses, car. So we need to prevent that as that aspects. That thermal management is main significant effect. That thermal runaway propagation we need to focus more in EV sector. So that the factors, what are the factors, it is classified in various terms, in terms of mechanical, in terms of chemical, in terms of electrical, internal, external, all that factors. So we need to consider n number of factors for making for avoiding the prevent that fires. We need to prevent that fire and all. So these are all the factors mentioned here. These are all the main factors that our PMS will take care of our entire both the software as well as hardware can be monitored by means of BMS. So that the cell balancing, it is really significant in the EV battery cells. The life cycle of battery, it will impact that unequalized cells. Certainly, it will make the battery life more impactable. So we need to take care of that cell equalization all the time. So that various methods are there, cell balancing. If we are not balance the cell, how that will impact the real scenario, people know that more technical aspects. So that coating material, almost it is a standard. We are putting that this kind of material in our battery cells. So that will prevent that our overall system. Similarly, that our PMS, each cell, it is monitored by the PMS. Any abnormality in terms of that heat and over current, over discharge, all of many factors. It is a matter for getting battery damaged. So that the PMS, it is all the time, it is monitoring like a surveillance kind of, and making it the battery fire prevention. So similarly, the motor technology, that various aspects, it is evolving in terms of technology as well as the material aspects. They are contributing the significant research, both the controller and motors. The overall two-wheeler, the opportunity for in terms of B2B, where and all the opportunity is huge. The food delivery guys have the huge opportunity, supermarket guy and Thomas Sky, and all that. Similarly, that municipal waste, they are collecting garbage at your doorstep. This and all, it is contributing the sustainable aspects, the major impact for all of us. That earlier we are throwing away on the street. Now at our doorstep, we are collecting. This alone, it is a significant contribution towards the sustainable development. It will impact. It will prevent that a lot of ecosystem damage. So the future would be how the future will be the mobility management vehicle and vehicle to grid to vehicle, all that, how that interconnected going to happen. The physical layer, various layers, that metro and our offshore bus stand and a normal station and electric mobility, all that. It is a matter of developing the overall ecosystem. It will build that overall sustainable mobility. It will shows in a different way. You can able to realize the pictorial representation itself, overall that growth and expansion. So this is about overall about our products. So you can able to realize this is our team. So this is that olden era. Now that a new upcoming future like this going to evolve the overall system. Earlier it was the crude oil extracted from the earth, then it comes from one country to here, and we are transferring to various petrol station, petrol pumps, and fueling to two-wheeler, three-wheeler. The same way we are now that wind and solar, we are getting energy from various charging station, substation, all that. Then we are going to fuel that two-wheeler, three-wheeler, buses, truck, all that. It is the matter of the transition. It may takes another 10 to 15 years. That transition and the growth, you can able to realize the real fruit. Yeah. So overall, the replacement, how that is happening now, the revolution, the transformation going to happen. Yeah. Thank you for your time and effort listening about the overall EV sector in India.
Thank you, Professor Padmanabhan. It was a very happy that because through iGen 9 vertical, next generation transport is the one vertical. So we all hope that you are the right person because you already contributed for the implementation of an AEV through your own company, and not only that, so it significantly impacted in India towards the conversion to the reduction of the carbon emission. So with respect to that, I think, sir, you can stop sharing. So
thank you, sir.
Congratulations, sir, and
stop
thank you
sharing,
for
sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, so now, so you see to I think.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
thank you for your remarkable contribution, sir.
Please wait, Sandhya. Please wait.
Okay.
Sir, I think your PPT is in shared mode. You can stop sharing.
I will. Okay, just a minute, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Youth leadership
Hey,
plays a
wait,
vital role.
wait a minute.
Sandhya, please wait.
சார் இன்னும் அந்த ஷேர்ல தான் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் சார்.
அதுதான் அது எங்க இருந்து இது பண்ணனும்ன்றது தெரியல சார்.
I think
கீழ இருக்குல்ல சார் ஒரு green color button. Stop share னு கொடுத்தா வந்துரும் சார்.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. And so we are very happy and privileged to present now. We are very privileged and happy to present now the recognition for Professor Padmanabhan. So Professor Padmanabhan, iGen Navaratna STG Impact Award certificate of recognition awarded to Dr. Padmanabhan K, Director Technical, EV Nexus Private Limited, conferred for exemplary dedication and outstanding contribution in implementing the iGen VIBGR Navaratnas and advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, through real, measurable and impactful on-ground actions. Your commitment to sustainability, innovation and community empowerment embodies the true spirit of the Navaratna principle and stands as an inspiration model of transforming green leadership. So this award is presented on 20th December during the iGen VIBGR Extra Green program on who is responsible for transport in line with the iGen Pilot Hub theme Next Generation Transport. So signed by the President of Institution of Green Engineers. So thank you, sir, and please accept our small recognition. So that will be the that is actually the thing we can able to do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your this great award to me. Then I appreciate for that entire organization. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
And thank you, and we will also invite you as one of the mentor for iGen, that is Indigo, because that Indigo forum only where all our next generation transport is there. We are planning to collect the people across the globe who all are working in transport in one forum, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Padmanabhan, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Over
sir.
to
Sandhya?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your remarkable contribution, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Youth leadership plays a vital role in shaping a sustainable future. I now invite Mr. Nitish J. from Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan College of Engineering, Coimbatore, to deliver the youth leadership talk. Please proceed, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Nitish, you can continue.
Okay, sir. A very warm welcome to all the distinguished speakers, industry leaders,
Nitish,
researchers,
kindly
and
unmute
fellow.
yourself. Yeah.
I hope now it's okay.
Yes, Nitish, you can continue.
Yeah, okay. A very warm welcome to all the distinguished speakers, industry leaders, researchers, and fellow youth innovators joining us today at iGen VIBGR Extra 9. This is Nitish J. from Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan College of Engineering, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Today, I'm going to present my topic, Beyond Roads and Vehicles, Engineering the Systems that Create Travel. So today I want to start with an iceberg image. What we usually see in the transport are congestion, emission, and traffic jams. This is just the tip. But the real cause of the transport problem lie below the surface, hidden in decisions made by other sectors like education, health, retail, and housing. My presentation shows that to change travel behavior, we must change the system that creates travel demand. So for decades, the government tried to solve the transport problems within the transport sector itself. But as you can see from this graph, the private sector use has stabilized but not reduced. This tells us something important. Optimizing transport alone is no longer enough. Hence, we are hitting the limits of a slow-based approach. So the key idea is that the transport demand is not independent. It is created by decisions made in other sectors like education, health, and retail. The study analyzes how silo-based policies unintentionally increase the travel demand using a system and socio-technical perspective. Based on these insights, a cross-sector evaluation framework is proposed to identify hidden impacts and design better policies. The central conclusion is just simple. Sustainable mobility is achieved by redesigning systems and not just by improving the transport infrastructure. So the travel is not something people demand by choice. The people travel because they force them to schools, hospitals, shops, and jobs. So if we only improve roads or buses without changing the system, travel demand keeps increasing. This is an example from the education policy that explains it very clearly. When parents are encouraged to choose better schools instead of nearest one, the average travel distance increase automatically. This problem labeled as a transport issue, but the root cause lies in the education policy. So here, a school is built outside the town to save land and cost. But this decision creates new bus services costing some amount every year. So the transport silently subsidizes other sectors. This is the inefficient and unsustainable. So the travel behavior is result of technology, business models, social habits, and infrastructure working together. So to explain this clearly, I use grocery shopping as an example. This leads to into three clusters. So one of the cluster one is the local past. Earlier, shopping was local and frequent. Limited home storage and local shops meant people walked directly. The transport outcome was short trips and active travel. So not because of the policy, but because of the system design. So coming to the cluster two, the centralized present. The refrigerators, highways, and large supermarkets enabled bulk shopping. This shifted behavior to weekly long car trips. The car dependence increased, but not due to the preference, but due to the system structure. Coming to the cluster three, which is the emerging future. With broadband, online payments, and delivery logistics, the shopping trip itself can disappear. The travel demand is replaced by optimized delivery, reducing personal travel. This teaches us an important lesson. Now, the car-based travel did not happen just because of people brought cars. It happened because the retail, logistics, and home technology changed together. Therefore, the sustainable transport depends on shaping cross-sector system. And this tools helps us to trace how a policy in one sector creates impact elsewhere. So it identifies the benefits, disbenefits, and feedback loops before decisions are made. Now coming to one of the small case study, which is the reallocating the one of the health center. Health center is centralized to save the cost. While facilities improve, the transport trips increase, local economics suffer, and access reduce for non-car users. This creates a negative feedback loop even for the health sector itself. So what is the solution for this? Coming to the solution, which is the three pillars for the systemic change. To break silos, we propose three pillars, which is responsibility, collaboration, and appraisal. Now let us explain this briefly. The first one, the pillar one, which is the assigned full responsibility for all generated emission. So every sector must take responsibility for the transport emission it creates. So this is similar to scope 3 carbon accounting already used in the previous sector. And now coming to the pillar 2, which is the make policy formulation as cross-sector activity. This policy should be designed by cross-sector teams, not single departments. This avoids narrow solutions and maximizes the public benefits. Now coming to the last one, the pillar 3, which develop a common cross-sector appraisal methodology. This is all projects should be evaluated using a common appraisal framework. In conclusion, the sustainable transport is not a transport problem alone. So it fixes the transport. We must fix the system that creates. So this is from the silos system, a more efficient and sustainable future. Hence, the adopting a cross-sector approach is not just a strategy to achieve sustainable development. By aligning the objectives and pooling resources, we can unlock the wider increase in sustainability that efficiently across the entire economy. So to fix this transport, we must see the whole system from top to below. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Nitish. Good. We hope so. We'll be landing up in eco-friendly transport in future.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great. So,
Sir, I
Sandhya?
hope you were able to see the presentation, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sandhya, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for inspiring us with a strong youth perspective, sir. Next, we have a focused research talk on EV charging by MS Mahita PS from Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. Over to you, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can share your screen, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute, ma'am.
So, I'm Haita PS from Dr. MGR Educational Research
Ma'am, you
Institute.
can maximize the window, ma'am.
Next. Is it okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mahita, you can continue.
So, I'm Mahita PS, from a research scholar from Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute. So, I'm going to talk about the topic design and development for mobile fast charging station for electric vehicle, which is my research topic. And the objective is development of multi-generation self-sustainable mobile charging station for vendors and local community to reduce the EV two-wheeler charging time by using the fuzzy logic technique. And third is to find out the optimal charge time by multi-stage constant current charging method incorporating temperature and age compensation technique. The research gap is high installation cost for charging station setup, large space requirement needed for charging station, and long charging times needed for electric vehicle. The literature review. The authors in 2018 gave the title Research on Battery Charging Strategy with Charging and Temperature Rising Controlled Awareness. The methodology used was multi-stage constant current rates optimization. The charging time was reduced by 1.9% and the temperature is reduced by 48.6%. And the authors in 2022 gave the title An Optimized Fuzzy Control Charging System for Lithium-ion Batteries for using a genetic algorithm. The methodology used was fuzzy controlled charging system with genetic algorithm, and the charging time was reduced by 20% and the temperature rise was reduced by 5%. And the authors in 2022 gave another title Constant Current Charging Fuzzy Logic Algorithm for Lithium-ion Battery Charging. The methodology used a fuzzy logic method with constant current charging circuit. The charging time was faster by 25% and 12.5% in buck and boost method when compared with constant voltage charging method. And the sensor kept the temperature rise within the limits. The authors in 2019 gave the title A Closed Loop Constant Temperature Constant Voltage Charging Technique to Reduce the Charging Time of the Lithium-ion Batteries. The methodology used was constant temperature constant voltage method. Charging time was faster by 20% when compared with the CCCV method, and the temperature rise was 20% lower. The authors in 2018 gave the topic a real-time Simulink interface fast charging methodology of lithium-ion batteries under temperature feedback with fuzzy control. The methodology used was temperature feedback with fuzzy logic control, and the charging time was lesser by 9.6% when compared to CCCV method, and the temperature rise protects the battery from overheating. The other the authors in 2009 gave another topic, design and development of fast charging, and the method used was fuzzy logic method, and the temperature was increased up to 37%. The authors in 2022 gave the title Enhanced EV Charging Experience with an Ultra Rapid Charger and 800-volt battery. Methodology used was ultra rapid DC chargers and 800-volt battery was investigated, and the charge time was 15 minutes approximately. Then in 2013, the authors gave the topic fast charging technique for high power lithium ion phosphate batteries, a cycle life analysis. The methodology used was multi-stage fast charging technique. The charging time was approximately 20 minutes, and the tested cell never reached the temperatures over 30 degrees under proposed testing scheme. So next we conducted the questionnaire both locally and locally in Tamil Nadu as well as all over India. The questions asked were, do you have the knowledge, whether they had the knowledge about the solar panels and solar energy, and how they were driving the vehicle, and the specification of the battery, the mode of charging used for the battery, and how frequently they use the battery, the average charging amount per month, the share of earning paid for the electricity, the total investment of the car, idea about the electric vehicle charging. And we also told that we are proposing a setup where solar panels were used at the top of the push cart. So the battery use can be used to charge the electric two-wheeler. So we asked the question whether it was a proposal to a good idea to increase the revenue. So the answers were henceforth. The mode of charging used for the battery used gave about 52.2% for charge at home, and for rent it gave up to 47.8%. The average charging amount per month came to about less than 1,000 rupees for about 84.8% of the users. And how frequently they were using charging the battery. They were using about 62% of the users were using it daily, and 27.2% users used for 2 days once. So the next questionnaire was user survey questionnaire. We asked the question whether they opted to own the electric two-wheeler and how much distance they travel per day, and the problems associated with the electric two-wheeler, the regeneration resource for charging their electric bike, the battery they chose, and the e-bikes that should come to India, whether they thought the e-bike should come to India, and the mode of vehicles that were replaced by using e-bike, and how much they were willing to pay at the public charging station. The average charging time they
you
were
no need to
willing
explain all the questions. You come out with your outcome. What is your
Okay,
outcome completed
okay,
like
sir.
that?
So the user questionnaire survey, it came out with the following outcomes. So the question was, do you think do you think share e-bikes should come back to India? The about 95.9% said yes, and the average charge time they were willing to spend charging EV two-wheelers at public place, around 43.6% of the users were opted to use 1 to 2 hours in the EV public charging stations, and the mode of vehicles at home can be replaced by using e-bikes. For that question, around 55% came back with the answer that petrol or diesel bike would need to be replaced by the e-bikes. And when we asked the question if push cart was equipped with a charger, will use a facility to charge the EV, around 85% of the users said yes. So the public charge questionnaire, the outcomes were, we asked the question whether they wanted to use the EV two-wheeler. About 73.5% of the users said about 73.5% said yes. And do you think there was no much increase in the EV sale rate? Research the availability of the public charging station were about 38.9%. And do you think e-bike is advantageous over the conventional bikes? About 78.2 said yes. So we simulated the the small scale mobile charging unit in the MATLAB R2021A, and with the conventional controller, this was we used the solar panels and we use a boost converter, and this is the charging circuit where the battery is used. This is for the conventional controller. And for the fuzzy logic, we had this is a fuzzy circuit which is used. This is a fuzzy circuit which is used in the simulation circuit. And the membership functions where we used SOC, the state of charge, and current as the input FIS variables, and duty ratio as the output a membership variable. And these were the fuzzy rules, and these were the membership functions. And the small scale mobile charging unit with the conventional controller used this charging circuit. That is, say we had a solar panel, hand generator, and as sources, generation sources, and the 12-volt power supply. We use the constant charging circuit, and we use the 3.7-volt lithium-ion battery, and these were the ratings. And essentially, this is fuzzy logic used the following circuit diagram. We had the fuzzy circuit with the microcontroller program, and we use the 3.7 volt 4000 milliamperes amps ampere hour lithium-ion battery. And the SSMT of the conventional controller, the results came up with for 190 milliamps. The time came to around 65 minutes, and for the 250 milliamps current, it came to around 60 minutes, and for the 300 milliamperes level current, it came up to 45 minutes, and for the 350 milliampere current, it came up to 33.2 minutes. And for the SSMCU with the fuzzy logic, we for the 190 milliampere current, the time came to around 15 minutes, and for the 250 milliampere current the time came to around 11 minutes, and for the 300 milliampere level current, the time came to around 10 minutes, and for the 350 milliampere current, the time came to around 7 minutes. So this is a comparative results which came across. We came up with the outcomes. So so it was 7 minutes against 33 minutes, and 10 minutes against 43 minutes, 12 minutes against 59 minutes, and 15 minutes against 65 minutes for fuzzy logic used SSMCU circuit. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for motivating us towards responsible and sustainable action. To reinforce commitment through action, I invite Ms. Tania B. Thomas from Puducherry Technological University to lead the pledge implementation and Youth EV promotion initiative.
Thank you. My name is Tanya V. Thomas. I study mechanical engineering in Puducherry Technological University, and I, as a youth of India, pledge to work towards a sustainable future by actively promoting electric vehicles and green mobility solutions. I commit to raising awareness and encouraging at least 50 families in India to adopt electric vehicles, contributing to reduced emissions and cleaner cities. Through responsible action and advocacy, I pledge to support a greener India and a better future for generations to come. Now I will start sharing my screen. Are you able to access my PPT? Is my PPT
Yes.
visible?
Yes.
Okay. Today, I will be speaking about green transport, its connection to sustainable development goals, and more importantly, how youth like us are shaping the future of mobility. Transportation is something that we all use daily, yet it is also one of the largest contributors to climate change. The choices we make today will determine how sustainable our cities and planet are tomorrow. So what is green transport? Green transport refers to modes of transportation that produce low or zero emissions. These systems focus on using renewable or energy efficient sources, reducing air pollution, and lowering fuel consumption. Examples include EVs, public transport, cycling, walking, and carpooling. And as Ramesh sir mentioned, green transport is not just about technology, it's about changing habits and priorities to create a cleaner and healthier environment. This slide shows the annual carbon emission breakdown in countries as of 2024. We can see that emissions are rising globally, especially due to urbanization and increased vehicle usage. Transportation plays a major role in this rise, particularly in developing economies like India and China, where vehicle ownership is increasing rapidly. This highlights why sustainable mobility is no longer optional, it is urgent. Transport contributes to around 25% of global carbon emissions. Road transport alone accounts to around 75% of those emissions. Green transport alternatives make a real difference. Electric vehicles reduce emissions by 50 to 70% over their life cycle. Public transport emits 45% less carbon dioxide per passenger, and walking and cycling are popular zero emission options. These numbers clearly show that individual travel choices collectively create a massive impact. This comparison shows grams of carbon emitted per kilometer for different transport modes. Private cars are among the highest emitters, while buses, trains, cycling, and walking are far more efficient. This data reinforces an important message. The most sustainable journey is not always the fastest, but is the smartest. Our daily mobility decisions directly affect the environment. Green transport strongly supports several sustainable development goals, especially SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 13 for climate action. This shows that sustainable mobility is not a single solution, it is a multi-goal accelerator for development. SDG 3, good health and well-being. Air pollution causes around 7 million deaths per year worldwide. Green transport helps by reducing carbon emissions, lowering respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, encouraging walking and cycling, which improve physical fitness and mental health. And also cleaner transport directly leads to healthier populations and lower healthcare burdens. Affordable and clean energy. Green transport supports clean energy by reducing dependence on fossil fuels, lowering long-term energy costs, encouraging renewable energy integration, and as access to energy expands globally, electric mobility becomes a powerful tool for inclusive and sustainable growth. And one thing I find really interesting about this graph over here is that the blue regions show the countries that have turned to more renewable sources of energy, and these countries are also countries that have lesser access to electricity as compared to more first world countries. And this just is a testament to human resilience and how creative we are when in the face of adversity, and how we can always come up with more sustainable solutions when faced with adversity. And sustainable cities depend on efficient and inclusive mobility system. Green transport leads to less traffic congestions, reduced noise pollution, safer roads, more space for pedestrians and cyclists. Smart cities prioritize people over vehicles, and green transport is at the heart of this transformation. Green transport directly supports climate action by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, helping meet Paris Agreement targets, and promoting low carbon lifestyles. Climate change mitigation begins with everyday actions, and mobility is one of the most impactful areas. Youth are not just future leaders, we are change makers. Youth have high adaptability to new technology, strong digital and social media influence, a growing voice in policy and innovation, and our generation is uniquely positioned to redefine how society moves. Simple actions matter. Walk or cycle for short distances, use public transport, choose electric vehicles where possible, and avoid unnecessary travel. When adopted collectively, these small choices create system level changes. Youth can spread awareness through campaigns and social media. They can innovate through engineering research and startups and volunteer for environmental initiatives such as supporting green policies and local governments. Sustainability succeeds when technology, policy, and people work together. To conclude, green transport is essential for a sustainable future. It strongly supports multiple sustainable development goals, and youth play a critical role in driving this change. The road to sustainability is long, but if we choose the right path today, the future will move cleaner, healthier, and greener. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya V. Thomas. Good. And hope you are
Thank you,
all
sir.
working towards sustainable development goals and decarbonization, net zero. So hope our Mother Earth turns greener with these young youths. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of IGEN, I express my heartfelt thanks to our President Dr. L. Ramesh for his inspiring leadership, valuable opening remarks, and continued guidance throughout the event. Sir, can you tell the overall view about the event, sir?
It was very happy, ma'am. It was very happy and very nice that we had today concluded the second edition of IGEN WIPGR Extra 9, which talk about the next generation transport, which is very much essential to achieve the sustainable development goal related to 169 targets. Out of 169 target, more targets are related to climate change, climate action, in which the sustainable transport is very much essential. So slowly, we hope that the challenges also discussed by the speakers. We all know that there is a big challenge is the how affordable it is. That is the transport. Let us example two-wheeler or three-wheeler or four-wheeler. There is a big challenge is there. One is about the charging time. Another big challenge is about the cost of the battery. So another big challenging about the weight of the battery. So these three next challenge is how we can able to place this solar panel in the transport, so that we can place the solar panel in the transport itself. That it means that the body of the transport, maybe it is a car or whatever it is, it has to be molded with a panel related material. So in future, that self-sustainable car will be there, self-sustainable transport will be there. At least 25%, 30, 40% of the energy to be generated through when car or the any transport which is moving. That is what our perception. Maybe it will take another 10 years, but the present progress, it is going very nicely. And we all contribute together so that collectively our own responsibility, what we will do as a pledge today, we can make it like below 2 kilometers, we can use cycle by the nearer by places, because the self commitment is very essential. And next we need to must to go for the purchase of the EV vehicle. But when we are purchasing of the EV vehicle, again that EV charging we are taking from the electricity board, then we are not a contributor. So my suggestion, if we are purchasing the EV, it is must we need to set up small solar panel in our home. So that solar panel will support our EV. So that is actually the real individual contribution which I feel. So with all this, we can able to conclude. And I would like to thank all our youth speakers and all our professional speakers. And we have here our Professor Charles, and thank you, Professor Charles, and be part of with us. And thank you all the other speakers, Nitish, Tanya, and Makita, also our guest and our Dr. Akila, Arka Ghosh sir again came back here. Thank you so much, sir. So we are signing off now, and maybe next hour in the month of January we'll have our third. That is a goal about which we have to talk about that, sir. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, sir. Thank you so much for spending the valuable time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sandhya. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bless
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.